Hey, Meesha.
Welcome back to another episode of the North Atlanta Real Estate Podcast with your charming host, Meesha Rawal.
And Jeff Aughey.
And today we're breaking down November real estate for you in our micro markets of Alpharetta, Johns Creek, Cumming, pretty much North Fulton and South Forsyth.
Yeah.
To kind of giving you a sneak peek as to what December is going to be. And the big story everyone's talking about.
Oh, the meeting that we had in December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about now. And yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And with the holidays coming up, we are hoping you're staying warm and spending time with your family. I hope you have time to tune into our podcast in 2026 as well.
Absolutely. And it's a great time to listen now with the family. Just gather them all up next to the fire, listen to us. What could be better, right?
That's right. So let's start with how November is doing.
And it was always interesting in November, and these are for resale homes in both of these locations for November. The North Fulton homes were up 22% in the number of sales. That was quite a jump comparing to a 9% decrease in Forsyth County. So it was a kind of, that's kind of strange because that's a big jump in a monthly basis, because I've looked over here and most things it's, they bump up and down 4 or 5% sometimes.
And this is not including the new construction. This is only resales.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's, I think, one of the things that you and I talk about quite a bit is when we're working with our clients, we don't like to just throw out numbers like you dig them off of FMLS and just throw stuff out without any context. You really want to dig down and make sure that it's not being influenced, like you just mentioned here, by new home construction that is happening in the area, and it can skew the data, especially sales price data, because you don't want to be the guy who's like, you look at FMLS and it's like, oh wow, my area just went up 10% this year. But what really happened is that they just opened up a new subdivisions that of course are selling at a much higher price point, and so it brings the averages up and the median price up, but it doesn't mean your house actually appreciated that much. So when we get into it, we like to look at the data, I guess, fairly, right? We try to get in and dig. So in this particular case, this is just resales. So this should be pretty accurate in that and not influenced by those other factors. And so, yeah, so that was a big jump. And so I was kind of like, well, what in the world caused that? I have no idea what caused this. Doesn't seem to be any particular cause, because then we look at, I just had to take a quick peek at December from the beginning of the month to today's date. And we are Christmas Eve. We're working for everybody on Christmas Eve, right? So we were hard at work. And so December sales in North Fulton now are down 25% for December. So it's like up 22, down 25. I have no idea. And then, you take Forsyth County, and while it was down 9%, number of sales in.
And for our
December.
Listeners, also wanted to point out that Jeff and me, we're just not looking at houses that have closed. This is houses which are under contract.
That's a good point too to tell. Yeah. So what we're doing when we say, right, November data, we're talking about the homes that actually went under contract in November, because if we just look at close data, then it really is what happened in September or October. So
exactly. That's
a great point, because that is what we're doing. We're taking a look, okay, what are people doing right today or in those time frames? And so, yeah, that is that. And so, what explains this? I don't know. So we just keep an eye, but I would say as all of our updates have been sort of over the year, we're consistently pretty flat to last year for the most part in the number of sales across both counties. Up a little bit in pricing in both. You could make an argument depending on how, maybe up 2-3% or something, 4%.
Yeah, because my argument was like the interest rate has dropped down, so maybe that spiked up the numbers, but that's not the case all over, right? It's only for a specific zip.
Yeah, and just for a short period of time. That was like, that was November, it spiked up, but then it's down again in December. But if we look from year to date, it's pretty flat. There's really not any big change from last year to this year in number of sales, which was really low and kind of disappointing. Everybody was predicting we're going to have. Yeah. We even did, like you say, we started the year at a much higher interest rate. We're in the 7 range, and now we've fallen. And if we wanted to talk about interest rates, we started November at 6.34, and we finished November at 6.22. So it dropped about an eighth of a point.
Yeah.
And and today we had the Fed meeting, like you had referenced, in December 9th, and they dropped another quarter point in the Fed, but it didn't affect interest rates much, because here we are in December at the end, and we're at 6.24, so pretty much the same as the end of November. Yeah.
And talking about houses, attached homes have already been affected.
Yeah, and I think that just, if there's anything that we would say for this year that is a trend, that is something that did change between 2024 and 2025, is the sales price, is the actual value of something that you owned, and we haven't had this in a while, actually went down. If you owned an attached home in these areas, pricing did get weaker in those two, and not dramatically so, but down a few percentage points, and so it's it's noticeable, and so will that affect single family homes next year, or will they stay resilient? I don't guess we'll see.
Well, but in happy news, our townhouse 10090 Jones Bridge, unit number 8 is under contract, so that was
good
great.
job. And did you feel like you were happy enough with the price, or were you affected?
Yes, because there was another house, unit number 2. So all the houses over here, I thought, had an interesting address. They were all 10090 Jones Bridge. But it was unit 1, 2, 3. So that kind of, I think, deterred a lot of people from seeing that, because they were all, whenever you would type 10090, all sorts of houses would pop up. So unit number 2 did not sell, even though they tried to do a fire sale. So I'm very happy that we sold. Our house is in excellent condition, had very private backyard.
Yeah, that was a nice part. The other one was backed up to Jones Bridge Road, or closer to it, right?
Yes. Yeah. And talking about sales, since we also do listings, we have one house which is on the market. Jeff and I do. It's 100 Northbrook Trace in Woodstock. It's listed at $625,000. 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, and about 3,300 square feet. And it's got a gorgeous hot tub in the back. So if you are looking for houses in that price point, definitely check out 100 Northbrook Trace.
And you were telling me, I guess, about someone that's going to be coming on the market very soon, right?
Yeah, so I think a lot of sellers could be waiting for the spring market to list their houses, but I feel it's always good to get started early and kind of start talking to your agent about how the market's going to be, so that your agent could come in and give you some tips about how to get your house ready. So we have a house, 2095 Melrose Trace in Cumming, which is coming on the market. It's got a finished basement with a full kitchen. So if you're looking to be in the under $700,000 price range in Cumming, this is an amazing house that you should look out for. I think we're looking at maybe the first or second week of January that it'll hit the market.
Yeah, and I think that's what people, I guess, trying to make the decision of, you can maybe have a little more activity if you wait into April or May, but then you also have a lot more competition with homes on the market. And so then the question is it better to wait till then, or be one of the fewer homes on the market in January, when people do come out and start buying right in the beginning of the year? Is that question? So electing to go ahead in the beginning of the year, probably you'll have good success, I would imagine.
And definitely watch out for our December update, which is going to be coming out in about 2 weeks. And up until then, we will be spending time with our families. My Christmas tree is up. Your Christmas tree is up, Jeff?
It is. It's a little dry right now, but it's up.
Why is it dry?
Because I think we put this up right after Thanksgiving. We were like early, and I kept it watered, but it's just...
Oh, you use a fresh tree.
This is a fresh tree, yes. Okay. It's a fresh tree. Okay. So it's starting to drop some needles, the poor tree. Yeah, we were talking about getting an artificial tree. I just haven't been able to do it. It's like, 40 plus years of...
Yes.
Well, I'm older than that. But
I have that Roomba thingy, and I cannot deal with fresh pine needles falling. So we have this flocked Christmas tree that we pull up and put up, and all our ornaments are up. And this year we have alcoholic ornaments. We have those ornaments with like the Jameson and the whatever, Glenlivet.
Are they filled?
50. Yeah, they're filled.
They're filled, so you just pull them off and drink them?
Well, yes, at the end of the year, just take it out and
you
drink
them. I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You buy them in Costco. And so that's been fun. And we have a few Christmas markets coming up. There's like this magical Santa pop-up, which is off right next to the Hamilton Hotel.
Oh, yeah, I went in there.
Yeah, how was it?
It was, it'd be fun. It was fun. It was well decorated. A lot of people in there. Just like usual, it's more women in there than guys, because the women are, I guess out and about. The guys are playing, video games in the basement or something. But but it was a lot of fun. And then we also did go to the market. They had a Christmas market over at Innovation Academy, I guess, a couple weeks ago, went in there. That's always a good time.
Yeah, downtown Alpharetta is so festive right now. I think every part of Alpharetta, Johns Creek, South Forsyth is very festive. So I'm hoping everyone's enjoying their warm
beautiful.
cider, hot cocoa, spending time around the Christmas tree.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what 2026 brings us.
Yep, this is Meesha and Jeff signing off, and we will see you in the new year. Happy holidays.
Bye for now.